Metro New Orleans premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on this Tuesday afternoon. I don't mean to sound like a broken record. Miss Peaches is a youngster, folks, but she's got older relatives and stuff, so she can live in the older person's time frame. Miss Peaches, do you understand the concept of a broken record? I think I'm guessing some of like the 35 and under crowd are thinking like he ran the mile in 4 minutes and this was 3:57. It's a broken record. Or is that what they're thinking maybe? Or am I overthinking it? I mean, would you say Miss Peaches and the Peachettes are putting out a new album? Would you ever say that? Would you say album or CD or just new music?
New music, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'd say album, right?
If you actually have an album, but, you know.
You're right. If you had the old turntable and an album, I get it. But sounds like a broken record. What would you think that is? Just like a scratch in the record?
Yeah.
So the needle keeps hopping backwards?
Now, you would have to explain that to some people because they would have no idea.
They're like, what's the needle hopping backwards? What's a scratch on the record mean?
Needle?
Exactly. Well, let's go back to the Victrola days, Miss Peaches. So you're cranking up the little box with the big horn on the top, and then you put this needle down on this record made of vinyl. And all of a sudden, music comes out. The Victrola. Wow, the Victrola. It's just sort of a slightly more advanced Victrola. When we were younger, when I was a kid, we had these things called turntables. And the records were on plastic after they were on vinyl. And they actually had grooves in the plastic or the vinyl. And if a needle, kind of a diamond needle, landed and rode in those grooves, the record spun and it rode the grooves all the way to the middle. There was music in those grooves. That's how we used to listen to music. And then I guess the 8-track tape came along, and then the cassette tape, and then the CD. And now it's just, all digital. Anyway, I don't mean to sound like a broken record 7 minutes later. Jeez. Corey in the 3 minutes of broken record talk. But I'm pulling my best Margaret Orr. It's a rinse and repeat. I don't mean to sound like a broken record from yesterday, but my God, it's 74 degrees. Just slightly warmer than yesterday, but lower humidity, only 33% humidity. Hooray. The next 10 days, we might get rain one day out of the 10. And it doesn't look like, oh, that day's a washout. Probably just one of those like overnight, morning, or afternoon showers. I don't know if even enough to water the lawn. The next 10 days, the next week and a half, lots of 50s, 60s, and 70s. Are you friggin' kidding me? 50s, 60s, and 70s for the next week and a half. Lots of sunshine. Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. Corey Johnson with you till 6 o'clock, till 5:30 on television. Don't forget you can check us out on YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube right now. Live and direct. A great day for righteous New Orleanians. Actually, yesterday afternoon was a great afternoon for righteous New Orleanians and a bad day for jokers of the past, deviant New Orleanians. Crooked politicians, folks that are connected to crooked politicians via city contract and the like. Somebody that's on city payroll, that's a deviant. They're great politicians. They're great people on city payroll. They're great city contractors. There's a lot of deviants too, a ridiculously large percentage of deviants. No, yesterday was a great day for us, the righteous people, black, white, Asian, Latino, Republican, Democrat. A great day for New Orleanians yesterday and a bad day for the deviants. And you got to like that. The Ethics Review Board voted unanimously, doing the right thing, the obvious thing, and renewed Inspector General Ed Michel's contract for 4 more years. The biggest fear I had with Ed Michel, the Ethics Board was like a kind of a B fear. The A fear, the primary fear I had was Ed Michel burning out, just mentally burning himself out. Like, I can't do this gig anymore. I'll go be an IG in Des Moines, Iowa. It's a hell of a lot easier, make similar pay. New Orleans is a grinder. It is. It beat up Bob Sarasoli, the original IG, who came in with some health issues, and it just really exacerbated those. Yeah, he had to quit. And then you had Ed Cottrell come in, who old Saints general manager Jim Finks would say a little long in the tooth. Needed someone a little younger, a little more aggressive. But Ed Cottrell tried, did some work, was honest. And then you had do-nothing Derry Harper. This guy was a joke. He was pathetic. He was politically connected. He was lazy. He had an agenda to not go after certain people. Just sad and pathetic. Those deviant types, they'd love Derry Harper as IG. Easily controlled, easily manipulated, just a flunky. No, and then we fortunately pull a 180 back to Bob Sarasoli. We get Ed Michel, interim for about a year, and then he's been doing it the last 4 years, and all this guy does is produce results. Waste, fraud, abuse via audits, investigations. No, just doing a fantastic job. Apolitical, doesn't care if you're black, white, Republican, Democrat. None of that matters. Just going after the waste, fraud, and abuse in New Orleans and is producing. And the Ethics Review Board did the right thing. They saw that and they renewed his contract. No, there were a lot of naysayers. Belden Baptiste. You've got a talk radio show host, a former FM DJ, a lightweight doing talk radio in New Orleans that has a full-time job now with Susan Hudson in the Sheriff's Department, getting a taxpayer-financed city contract paycheck, and goes on the air and gets Susan Hudson on and kisses her rear end, gets the mayor on, kisses her rear end, and then beats up on people like righteous Raphael Goyeneche from the Metropolitan Crime Commission, for crying out loud, a great watchdog for us, the righteous folks, and then beats up on Ed Michel. Crazy false rumors and accusations, all refuted. No basis. Half the jokers that made him didn't even show up yesterday. No, it's a farce. It's old school New Orleans politics and jokers at its worst. Folks connected to the politicians, city contracts, and the like. No, good to see them 86th, get clocked. get hit in the kneecaps with an aluminum baseball bat. They're out of here. And Ed Michel, 4 more years. So you deviants, watch out. Ed Michel's not coming for you, but whatever he investigates, audit, looks into, you're involved, you might get clocked too. Boy, this never ends. The French Quarter trash wars continue. Henry Consulting originally wins the contract, but Henry Consulting, Troy Henry is a middleman. I don't think he is an expert at anything necessarily, maybe being an engineer, and I don't think he does much engineering. He has an engineering degree from Stanford. The guy's smart. But he also knows the city of New Orleans, minority contracts, coming in and working a deal. I'll take over Six Flags. I'll do the trash contract. I'll clean the bathrooms at the airport. Whatever. It doesn't matter if I know anything about it or not. I'll just sub it out to someone, make sure the job's done at an acceptable level, and I'll make a nice chunk of change on it too. So he wins this $73 million French Quarter contract. But then before it can get it going, his subcontractor, Richard's Disposal, and him have a falling out. So Henry can't deliver. The city rebids it out. IV Waste comes in, an emergency 1-year deal. And IV Waste is doing a masterful job in the quarter. The lemon scent, power washing, sidewalks, going above and beyond what the contract called for. Troy Henry says it's his contract. He wants back in. I think a lot of people are very happy with what IV Waste is doing. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now with this weather, sitting outside enjoying a drink, some appetizers, fading towards dinner, indoor dining, outdoor dining, flat screen TVs, a mid-city mainstay, Iberville, corner Tallahassee, as New Orleans as it gets, Katie's.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeVar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. The vibe of the Crescent City, Corey Johnson.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM. Also from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida on 600 AM and 1560.
Yeah, you right. Metro New Orleans and beyond. Hey, tomorrow, Ed Michel, New Orleans Inspector General, for another 4 years. Contract renewed yesterday. He will join us live on the program tomorrow, right about this time in 24 hours, around 4:20. Mañana, IG Ed Michel. Don't miss it. Yeah, the French Quarter trash wars continue. Here's the problem. Ivy Waste is doing a really good job. Sidney Torres and Ivy Waste are going above and beyond what they're supposed to do. It's kind of interesting. You have Henry Consulting, Troy Henry. He's the ultimate middleman. He basically inserts himself in between the city and someone that's doing the work for the city. There's nothing illegal about it. I think you're adding another layer. I would go directly to the folks that do it. But essentially, Troy Henry's no different than you, me, anyone. He bids on a lot of things, does his due diligence, figures out subcontractor, figures out the dollar amount, and goes for these contracts and oftentimes wins them. Troy Henry Consulting cleans the airport restrooms. The airport had an airport janitorial service doing it, and they didn't like the work they were doing, the board, and they got rid of them. And in an emergency bid, they put the bid out there, and Troy Henry won it with no janitorial expertise. But he hired a crew or hired a company, and they knock it out, and they apparently do a pretty good job. So no one's complaining, not like they were with the original folks doing it. So I'm not saying he does bad work, good work, whatever. This is kind of his MO. It's like Six Flags. That's why I had Troy Henry. Well, if New Orleans wasn't so dysfunctional, you may be in the bidding for this. And he agreed with me. If the city would have hired an outside company, corner, not as the old Six Flags site, as the city called it, but as like the Sportsman's Paradise site, something new, exciting. Everything's getting redone. You don't have to talk about what it was. Talk about what it can be. And then you proactively get that company you hire that, hey, guys, you're going to go see Bass Pro Shop Cabela's, right? You're going to go to Flying J Truck Stop, right? You're going to go see Buc-ee's, right? You're going to go to IKEA Furniture, right? You're going to do all these things, right? And then it's marketed to all these other entities we're not even thinking about that are seeing it, that this company has national reputation for getting it done. No, instead the city markets it locally. Troy Henry wins the Six Flags bid. Drew Brees and Demario Davis, some Saints players, come in second. It wasn't. Bass Pro Shops Cabela's is building their largest Bass Pro Shop Cabela's. And Flying J Truck Stop was the runner-up. It's not even anything near that. Not anything near that. So instead of like the Buc-ee's in Mississippi, that was announced years after Troy Henry won the Six Flags site. Years later, hey, we're going to build a Buc-ee's. It's about to open. They've broken ground, they've built it, and they're about to open it. Six Flags hasn't even broken ground yet. They've just done some demolition, and only just recently. And even the demolition had to be stalled for a while because the permits weren't right. It's kind of a lot of flying by the seat of the pants. It's not. Buc-ee's coming in and building a store in 18 months with a reputation of doing it. We're going to get the movie studio. We got that signed up. When do they break ground? We're going to get the water park. When do we sign them up? When do they break ground? I mean, this thing's over years and years and years and years. So not the ideal person because it wasn't marketed. Troy Henry even admitted as much. Probably wouldn't have got the bid if it was marketed nationally. So again, I'm not knocking Troy Henry. I'm just kind of telling you how he operates, what he does for a living. He's got a gorgeous office, like half a floor in One Shell Square, I believe. I think it's the building. Multi-million-dollar redo of the office. It's plush. It's nice. He does very well. Lots of employees. He wins the trash contract, has it subbed out to one of the previous trash contractors, Richards Disposal. Like Richards isn't interested in bidding on the quarter. Henry bids on it, wins it, and Richards is going to do the work for Henry. But then Richards and Henry have a feud. Richards says, you owe us more money. Henry says, no. Richard sues Henry. Henry says, you're supposed to be doing this amount of work, blah, 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 blah. And then also, Henry ups the contract after he wins the bid. Some things we missed. Then you have Ramelli Waste come forward and say, hey, guys, we only lost the bid by a few $100,000. The amount of money Henry is now requesting and is being granted exceeds our winning bid. We should be the winning bid. We'll do it for the amount that we put in. We don't need to alter our bid after we've won the contract. So you get Ramelli in there. I think only in New Orleans. So Troy Henry wins it with Richards Consulting as a sub, a previous garbage disposal company that didn't want to bid on the quarter. Then Richards and Troy Henry, their little contract goes sour. They're button heads. And by the way, Henry was saying there's an adjustment. There were more days than what I thought, and it's going to cost $500,000 more. Ramelli walks up and goes, our deal was only a few $100,000 more. We're lower than Henry. Give us the contract. Then while Henry and Richards have their feud, the council says, we got to get a contract going in now. So they put out an emergency one-year bid. Ivy Waste, Sidney Torres' company wins it. They're doing all the work that they're supposed to do and more. Everybody sees it. Pressure washing a few days a week. They pressure wash every day. The lemon scent's not even part of the deal. It's thrown out there, and it makes the quarter smell good. It's genius. It's much needed. Quarter stunk before. Stinky French Quarter in Bourbon Street. Instead, now it's lemon fresh scent. Oliver Thomas, Eugene Green, the mayor's saying, Oliver Thomas and Eugene Green on the council say, Troy Henry deserves the contract. He won it. Freddie King, J.P. Morrell are like, whoa. Freddie King saying, man, Ivy Waste does a great job. Great job in my district. And J.P. Morrell says, hey, maybe rebid the contract at the Ivy Waste standard level. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. All I know is, as just a citizen And no offense to Troy Henry, I think he would just be doing the few days a week pressure washing and picking up the trash and emptying the trash cans. That's it. Ivy Waste is pressure washing every day. Ivy Waste is putting down the lemon fresh scent. They're clearly going above and beyond. Above and beyond. They're very service oriented. They're not just trying to go through the motions and do the what's required by the contract, like almost the minimum amount. Okay, if it's not what can we get away with, it's what's required by the contract, period. That's what we're going to do. Ivy Waste and Sidney Torres, for whatever reason, are like, we're going above and beyond what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to do this, and we're going to do more than that. So I don't know how any citizen would want just any regular trash disposal company to come in and work it when you got one that's doing it, going above and beyond what they're supposed to do. Hey, the phone lines are open, 766-9480. I'd love your take on Ed Michel, the righteous New Orleanians getting rewarded. The Ethics Review Board doing the right thing yesterday, renewing Ed Michel's contract for 4 more years. Or you're on the opposite side. Didn't want to see Ed Michel around. Don't be scared. 766-9480. We take all comers. French Quarter trash wars continue. You want to see Ivy Waste with the contract, or you want to see Henry? Someone else? 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Yeah, 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse. I'll throw those trivia questions out in a minute. 766-9480. Rob is in New Orleans this afternoon. What up, Rob?
Yeah, a few things. You know, you're tackling some substantial issues as usual. You said that the people that accused the IG yesterday, half of them didn't show up. I watched the news; none of them showed up.
Wow.
And about Sidney Torres, I know he's kind of a controversial figure and all that, but he's a businessman, and when he does get involved in city activities, he's been successful. Remember, he put those little police cars in the French Quarter. That was his idea, and he was like monitoring it. And when he had the different company, I think it was called SDT or something.
Yep.
Right after Katrina, he did what you were talking about, the lemon fresh, and also mint. I mean, so yeah, to answer your question, yeah, Sidney Torres has proven he can do this and make the quarter smell good. But I want to bring up another subject that I don't know if you have time for it, but it relates to what you were saying, waste, fraud, corruption. There was an article in the paper a few days ago that made me think of your show about Jeff Landry and Shane Guidry as an unelected advisor, and he's clamping down on all these boards to give the governor more power. And there's the consolidated levy.
Hey, Rob, hang on a second. Don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chop, shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue Street. Shops and more. Remember, to find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and
Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Ben, the city's Rob in New Orleans hanging on through that break. So what, Rob, you were talking about Jeff Landry, Shane Guidry, and the major influence that he has with Jeff Landry influencing the governor, and Landry's sort of position of taking control of boards.
Well, maybe I was reading this article recently, and it escaped my notes, but this has been an issue. I Googled it. It's been an issue since last summer, you know? Yep. And so basically, I just read the newspaper. You're good at breaking down these Byzantine New Orleans political things, like you did with the IG and the garbage. But this is my understanding. So Shane Guidry, it's kind of like Elon Musk. He's not elected, but he's getting government contracts, and he's a very successful business person, and he's got tremendous influence on the executive here. But it's funny because I really don't know. He says there's scammers on the board, but all these knowledgeable people are saying that board is a lifesaver, including, I just heard your commercial for Latrim, Jay LaPere, who, you know, I mean, you probably know him personally, and Ruthie Frierson, who was, you know, instrumental in getting this legislation passed back in 2000, whatever. So, but anyway, Shane Guidry said there's scammers on the board, but people like Ruthie Frierson and Jay LaPere are saying we need that board. So I just want to hear your thoughts on that. So I'm gonna hang up and listen.
Rob, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
No, I can tell you two things. I mean, I do know Jay LaPere. Have not seen Jay LaPere in years. I went to school, like grammar school, with Ruthie Frierson's son. So I knew Miss Frierson 40 years ago. I haven't seen her in years. I both know, I know this about both of them, I should say. They're very civic-minded. They have very high ethics, morals, and integrity. They're very, very successful in their own right. They don't need to take some civic-minded position like on a board to enrich themselves or their friends or their family. They're not in it for any of that. They're in it for civic-mindedness, to give back to the community, to make New Orleans better, to make it stronger. So anything that like Ruthie Frierson would be involved in, anything I can definitively say that Jay LaPierre would be involved in is going to be above board, is going to be honest, is going to be, hardworking, committed, someone that gets the job done, smart, crosses the finish line. I mean, that's a no-brainer. No, I would side most definitely with Jay LaPierre. No, the problem is the governor wants a bunch of yes people on boards that essentially he controls the board. Not that the board is this autonomous entity like it's supposed to be and isn't worried about Republican or Democrat or who's governor, just doing what's best for the citizens and representing that particular board. The LSU board has always been insanely political. It's even worse now. That's why you have like Robert Mann, like him or not, tenured professor stepping down. It's just wrong. I'll never forget after Katrina, Ivor Van Heerden, the professor at LSU, tenured professor, talking about inferior levees and flood walls. LSU ousts him instead of embracing him, saving citizens' lives, calling out the Corps and the feds. It's pathetic. It's not America, democracy, capitalism, the best, rises to the top. It's controlled. It's manipulated. And that's wrong. And the governor wants to do that. And here's the problem. New Orleans and Louisiana, so broken and so dysfunctional, almost anything in an opposite direction. You do 10 things in the opposite direction, 3 or 4 of them by default are going to be better. And probably the other ones, it's just different people benefit, different people don't than before. It just shifts over to another group and it's as ineffective as it was before. But some things will probably get better. And what's scary is if they're legitimate and the governor had a plan and it worked out, that's great. But if it's just throwing crap against the wall and on a power trip to control, then that isn't so great. So, no, Rob, very concerned about that. Most watchdog groups looking from outside don't like it. It's like, I know there needs to be dramatic change in New Orleans and Louisiana, and I'm all for it. But, someone saying, hey, we're going to do these things because we need dramatic change, and I'm going to do good things, but we probably need to change them back after I leave because we definitely don't think it's for everybody, especially the opposing political ideology of mine. No, so, a lot of folks, it's like the Supreme Court. Republicans love that all you need is 50 votes in the Senate and not 60 to get a Supreme Court justice confirmed. And you can blame Democrats for that. I don't care who's to blame. Republicans love it because they got 3 justices on the court that probably wouldn't have gotten on. You got to get some Democrats. You got to get some from the other side. So it forces whoever's president, a Democrat or Republican, to put up a more moderate, middle-of-the-road Republican or Democrat that'll be accepted from the other side. And in the olden days, it would be like 100-0, 98-2. Now it's 51-49. It's a joke. But no, you got 3 kind of more extreme Republican Supreme Court justices. And what's going to happen, there's going to be a Democrat in power in a generation from now. And they're going to put in 2 or 3 hyper-left Supreme Court justices. And folks on the right are going to freak out. Why is it 50 votes and not 60 and all of that? So I like the checks and balances. No, and the governor just wants to control things his way. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. I've got a couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Yeah, you're right. The Woodhouse Day Spa is the premier day spa in the city. 5 locations. Mid-City, New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, Mandeville, Slidell, Baton Rouge. WoodhouseSpas.com. Book an appointment, print your own gift card for her. WoodhouseSpas.com. I got a couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. 50 big bucks. Get you jump started on that day of relaxation, a whole lot of other good stuff. Got some trivia questions. The interstate that'll eventually run from the Superdome across the Crescent City connection all the way to Kansas City, Missouri. From the Superdome to Kansas City, Missouri via DeBest Bank. Name that future interstate. And I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spot locations. Miss Peaches, do you know who New Orleans' own Mia Young is? Yep. Well, I mean, I'm just asking if you knew. Her nickname's Mama Mia. So I'm thinking, like, does she put pork in meatballs with the veal and the beef? Oh, Mama Mia? Who's Mia Young? Mama Mia is a nickname. I'm just wondering, is it veal, beef, and pork in the meatballs? Who's New Orleans' own Mia Young? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. 766-9480. 766-9480. That's how you can dial us up on this Tuesday. Hey, if you're in New Orleans, if you're in Baton Rouge, any of the outlying areas, the metro of either, and you got a paint project to knock out, now is the time. The next 10 days, 50s, 60s, 70s, lots of sunshine for the next week and a half. Knock out that paint project, New Orleans. Knock out that paint project, Baton Rouge. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, 4 locations in Metro Baton Rouge. Free 2-hour delivery of that high-quality Benjamin Moore paint and all the accessories you need to get the job done right. Do it once. Do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating. I painted my house about 3 years ago. Looks like I painted it last week. Lifetime Paint. Benjamin Moore. Helm Paint and Decorating. Yes. Check out the weather. The next 10 days. Incredible sunshine. Painting weather. Knock out that paint project. When you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating. Tuesday afternoon edition of the program. Hooray for me. For me, I'm very excited. Yay, yay, yay. Wow. La Boca has crawfish empanadas, Miss Peaches. What? Say what? I love that commercial. Say what? La Boca has crawfish empanadas, which arguably the greatest single crawfish pie in the history of mankind. Absolutely wonderful crawfish pie. The crawfish empanada, fresh local Louisiana crawfish tails in this homemade dough, flash fried, just incredible. And the crawfish and the goop inside, like countless crawfish, and just such a good flavor. I'm heading to La Boca this week with some buddies. Steak night. And La Boca has a filet. La Boca has a New York strip. La Boca has a ribeye. But at La Boca, the Argentine Steakhouse, Adolfo Garcia Steakhouse, you get the skirt steak or the flank steak or the hanger steak. Save the New York strip, the ribeye and the filet for the regular prime steakhouses. I love those too. When I go to the Argentine Steakhouse, La Boca, it's like a skirt steak or a hanger or flank. And yeah, I'm getting a crawfish empanada appetizer.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Coalition. We love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Airline Highway at Lamar. Smoothie King.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are as unique as you.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? What about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. The Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Have that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot. In New Orleans, we don't need to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more. And it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
766-9480 is how you dial us up. Logan joins us in Mid-City, New Orleans. What up, Logan?
How you doing, Corey? How you doing today?
Doing well, man. Yourself?
Pretty good. Just listening to, as always, very informative show. Thanks for covering the topics that we, need to talk about.
Thanks, brother.
Ed Michel, man. I've been definitely. I like what I see from the guy. There was some accusations, misogyny, racism about removing him from his position, and I was happy to see he was basically extended by the board. But I'm just wondering, I can't find specifically what he was accused of. Just a little bit that I searched, and correct me if I'm wrong. I remember I want to say it's the possible future mayoral candidate Terrell Morris, who said that Ed Michel was kind of, accusing him of some things and altering, and I just found that totally ironic. And also the sheriff's not a fan. So I was just wondering, again, what specific accusations were ever thrown against him? And, I just think that Inspector General is such an important position. So I'm glad, he's keeping the reins and, just call it like it is, right? Should be non-political, calling, just stating the facts, and wherever it takes us, it takes us. So just curious what you thought about that.
Yeah, no, Logan, I think those are all good points. Yesterday, either just a few or no of these deviant anti-Ed Michel folks showed up at Loyola Law School to complain. And each and every accusation that was thrown out there has been disproven. Like the ethics board itself did an investigation and found nothing of the claim being valid. Half the people that made claims didn't show up when they were required to back up the claim. So a lot of this was just throwing stuff up against the wall, old school New Orleans politics, hoping enough people would say it's true and you could have, this guy's contract not get renewed. Now, I read an article yesterday. It was mind-blowing. Now, it's kind of from a non-entity. I'm not even going to mention who. And just all black and white, and the guy has an agenda, and Ed Michel goes after, women and black folks and all this crap, and then just the misogyny, and all of this is proven to be totally incorrect. The ethics board did a lot of reviews on it, investigations, found nothing, no substantial facts or witnesses. The opposite. Women and minorities in the office saying he's a really good guy and he does a great job and he's focused on the job and he treats everybody fairly. So I think all that was said yesterday, Logan, the positive stuff, and the board did the right thing and renewed his contract for 4 years.
Great. Hey, we'll take little rays of sunshine where we can take them. Like I said, what an important position, and I just want to make sure, that we're keeping it going and respecting it and realize how important it is. Just tell the truth, and wherever it leads you, so be it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Logan. Thanks, brother.
All right, you have a great one, Kari.
You're right. That's Logan in Mid-City. Paying attention, Miss Peaches, knowing his stuff. He's right. It's important. And it's not the most, it's not like bacon skillet. It is vitally important, these watchdogs. You can't have these deviants, fucking up the works. Chuck is in New Orleans. What up, Chuck?
What's going on, man? It's been 6 years since I've talked to you on the phone.
Wow. Where you been?
You know what? What's that?
Where you been?
Just been a lot, buddy.
Yeah, you're right.
But the last time I was on, I won a gift certificate at the Woodhouse Spa.
Nice.
And so I'm looking to win another one now. You just might get the highway.
The what?
You said the trivia for the highway from New Orleans to Kansas City.
Yeah, from the Superdome to Kansas City. Yep.
Yeah. Somebody already got it?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I-49. But it's also, years ago, it was known that it was going to be the Dixie Freeway. Did you know that?
I think Dixie Freeway and like I-9, 10 or something like that? Wasn't that it? I-9, 10?
I thought it was just a continuation. I might have been wrong. I know the Dixie Freeway, and then they changed it because it had some association with some people that own property over on the West Bank.
Okay.
You get the drift, yeah. But you think it's 9-10? Okay.
No. It was like I-9, 10, I think originally, just like as what, on the drawing board. But as far as what that interstate from the Dome to Kansas City will be eventually, a lot of it's already built. I'd say about 50%. It is I-49. You are correct, Chuck.
All right.
Yeah, you're right.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Literally right where the I-10 curves by the Dome and the Pontchartrain Expressway starts, that'll be the beginning of I-49. The Crescent City connection will be I-49. And the West Bank Expressway will be I-49 and eventually hook up to I-49 in Lafayette through Shreveport into Arkansas, up into Missouri into Kansas City.
Kind of? Yes, sir. Yeah. And they were also supposed to extend it at one time. It was on the drawing boards with the Department of Transportation that it was going to loop all the way to The one in St. Bernard, the Green Bridge, that was going to be another loop for it. For it to come back, get off at I-10 by Parish Road.
Well, yeah. The I-510 in the east and the I-310 in the west, the Luling Bridge, those are the original outer boundaries of a future interstate loop. Like I-49 will be the West Bank section. I-10 is the existing North or East Bank section, and then the western and eastern edges are the I-510 and the I-310. Yep.
Absolutely. Interstate system for the West Bank.
No, and then you get the Earhart, connected to stuff.
Yeah.
Going all the way out to the I-310 eventually through the airport. And then you get the Florida Avenue Expressway built going into Chalmette. You'd have a real interstate loop. Hey, Chuck, don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Miss Peaches is going to get some info from you, Chuck. And that's Blue Boy saying, congratulations, Chuck. Your lady's going to the Woodhouse. I-49. Excellent work. Coming right back, 5 o'clock power hour. Another full slate. Corey Johnson with you. Don't move.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Come experience the best smoothies at Smoothie King. His father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
If you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to GVBB.com. That's GVBB.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Out from the crowd, come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe. Staff are here exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sport restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat screen TVs, including a 120-inch monitor. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock Wow Wow coming your way, Crescent City. What a glorious afternoon. 74 degrees, 33% humidity and sunny. You darn tootin'. I've been wanting to say darn tootin' since I said by golly last week. So I got in a by golly last week and a darn tootin' today. Next week, we're shooting for Golly Gee Willikers. Golly Gee Willikers. Look for that next week on the Neutral Brand. Oh, boy. 74 degrees, 33% humidity and sunny. Get outside. Here's the kicker. It's daylight savings time. We roll till about 7:30. About 2.5 hours more of daylight. 2 hours and 15 minutes of daylight. You could knock out 9 holes of golf, a set of tennis, do some duck hunting. It's not season for ducks. Drop a line in the water, pull some fish out the water, launch the boat, knock out some gardening, trim the tree, the bushes. Throw down some coals, do some grilling like I did last night. Shish kebab, how could I not? The weather was fantastic. Absolutely lights out. No, drop the coals, light up the gas, boil or fry some seafood. It's Lent. Take advantage of this incredible weather. I saw like 80-degree high later in the week. Lots of 50s, 60s, and 70s the next 10 days. But I did see like a high of 80, like 1 or 2 days in a row. 80. We don't need that already. I'd like this 50s, 60s, 70s gimmick we got going right now to continue at least for another 6 weeks. That would be absolutely ideal. Let's just get in French Quarter Fest, Zurich Classic, and the 2 weekends of Jazz Fest. Those 4 weeks in a row. Let's get some 50s, 60s, 70s weather for that. That would be incredible. I remember a Jazz Fest about a decade ago. It was either a Saturday or Sunday, and it was like 60-something degrees. It was like a fluke. I had never experienced a Jazz Fest that cool and comfortable. Pretty darn cool and comfortable right now. It's not cool. It's not hot. It's perfect. It's 74. It's 33% humidity. It's sunny, and it's breezy. There's a nice little breeze out there, so get outside and enjoy the weather. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Art and Eyes. Eyewear that's as unique as you. Celebrating about a dozen years now in the business on Magazine Street. Super high quality frames, sunglasses that you'll find nowhere else. Name brands you've never, ever heard of. You want to get that mafia junk from Luxottica, made in China, like name brands that used to be quality, like Revo, Persol, Ray-Ban. Yeah, go to the mall, get that stuff. I used to love those name brands. All Luxottica owned, mafia operated, made in China. Garbage. Art and Eyes has nothing from Luxottica. Nothing at all. Everything they have, you've probably never heard of these name brands. Super high-end frames from the United States, from Japan, from Europe. And once you touch, feel, and put them on, you're going to go, boy, I could tell what Corey was talking about. Super high quality, like a lifetime purchase. And yes, all different price points. Don't let super high quality scare you off. I love what Star and Paul do every few months. They walk throughout the store with this basket, and they simply just start plucking frames off the display shelf throughout the store. That basket grows every month. Right now, there's about 100, maybe 150 frames in that basket. Those frames range from about $250, $300 to over $1,000. Lots of frames in that basket are $500, $600, $700, $800. The frames are absolutely free. The frames in that basket are absolutely free. All you pay for are the prescription lenses for those frames. So yeah, for just a few $100, getting some high quality prescription lenses, you can get $600, $700, $800, $900 frames absolutely free. Art and Eyes on Magazine, plus the rest of the entire store. A few thousand sets of frames, I would guess. If you wear prescription glasses or want a great pair of sunglasses, Art and Eyes on Magazine. Google them. Art and Eyes. 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Art and Eyes. Yesterday afternoon, late in the program, later than right now, it was like about 5:40. Breaking the news from Channel 6. A great day for righteous New Orleanians, black, white, old, young, Asian, Latino, Republican, Democrat, rich, poor, it doesn't matter. If you care about the city, you work paycheck to paycheck, a lot of you make a lot of money, you earn your money. You're a good, honest person, high integrity, ethics, morals, that matters to you. Honor, pride, it matters to you. No, it was a great day for us. And a bad day for the clown show, the jokers, the politically connected, the political hacks, the folks with city contracts that just try to get away with something, deviant behavior. The Ethics Review Board did the right thing, the obvious thing, and renewed IG Ed Michel's contract for another 4 years. You had some naysayers. You had some yesteryear deviants in the New Orleans political world that were just making up stories and lies to get the guy ousted, complaining that he had an agenda and going after black over crap like that. Nothing substantiated, just making stuff up because they didn't like this political watchdog. Such are the ones that bash Raphael Goyeneche in the Metropolitan Crime Commission. They want it like it used to be, like it still is in a lot of ways, but how it used to be, full bore, just deviant, anointed, appointed political hacks, city contractors not doing the work, getting paid. No, a bunch of people stealing, basically. So, no, a great day. Ed Michel, 4 more years of fact-checking, checking out New Orleans city entities, city government, public entities for fraud, waste, and abuse, saving us, the taxpayers, valuable money. This is New Orleans. The city and all these city entities in government need to be scrutinized by an outsider, a bulldog, a watchdog, a pit bull. That's what we got in Ed Michel. Thank you, Ethics Review Board, for simply doing the right thing and not letting a bunch of political hacks from yesteryear try to screw things up. No, that was a huge day yesterday. I was a little nervous that the Ethics Review Board might do the wrong thing. I was really relieved to find out Ed Michel was, trying to get the contract renewed. I was thinking he might be like, one term and done, 4 years and done. This job is a grinder. It just burned me out. I'm burnt out. I can't do it anymore. But he's still ready to go, which is great. Great for the city. Now, we need Ed Michel. We got him for 4 more years. We need Raphael Coinecci to keep rolling with the Metropolitan Crime Commission. And then, like on the private sector, you need the Fletcher, the Travers Mackles, and the Lee Zurichs, David Hammer. You need these folks to Cassie Sherman, Channel 6. You need them to keep grinding, doing that investigative stuff for us. Oh, the French Quarter trash wars continue. This thing's mind-blowing. It really is. You think we had things settled with IV waste, but Troy Henry says, no, I got my you-know-what together. Richard's Disposal and us, we're on the same page. We want the contract now. We're ready. The city's saying, hold up. Some of the city's saying, give it to Henry. Some of the city's saying, hey, rebid it. Because IV Waste has things at an entirely higher level. They're going above and beyond the contract. We don't just want the contract fulfilled. We want above and beyond like IV Waste is doing in the quarter. I'll fill you in on that in a moment. Crazy story. Eileen Carter from the failed mayor recall, that embarrassment. She had me fooled. I had her on like every other week, believing her. Total nonsense. She's considering a run for mayor. Wow. Unbelievable. The controversial Bell Chase Bridge opens on DeBest Bank this Sunday. If you're a Plaquemine resident, 25 cents to cross. If you're an 18-wheeler going down to the CNG facility being built, could cost you like $9. It's a $150 million bridge. The folks that built it, the private company, they're going to collect $700 million in tolls. I want that deal. I'll build a $150 million bridge if I can collect $700 million back.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more. It's all more of the good things.
At Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward for more than 125 years. Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit NOLA.com.
Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Flood Business, 456-0809, Dave Miet, INSAgency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Flood Business, 456-0809, Dave Miet, INSAgency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton and Chet on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Walker Automotive complex, there's something called quick lane. Tires, wheel alignment, struts, servicing your transmission. We do all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quickly, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Yeah, you right. Hey, I got a $50 Woodhouse Baseball gift certificate to give away. New Orleans' own Mia Young, nickname Mama Mia. I just want to know if she puts pork in the meatballs. Beef, veal, and pork. Gotta put the pork. That's the flavor. I was watching Godfather. That recipe's not bad for the red sauce that he's teaching to Michael. You put in a little olive oil. You put in a little garlic. You put in your tomato paste, some tomatoes. And you put in all your sausage and your meat. And a little wine, a little sugar. That's how that's pretty good. Red sauce right there. Not too shabby. The pork chop. I mean, the meatballs have to have pork, though. That's where you get the flavor. If you watch certain mob movies like The Godfather or Goodfellas, you'd learn this stuff. I slice my garlic with a razor by my hand, just little slices. It melts in the pan. It melts in the butter, the garlic. Because I'm doing time, and I just have endless amounts of time to take a razor and slice up the garlic. Because I'm just sitting here in jail. 766-9480. Who is New Orleans' own Mia Young? Nickname Mama Mia. Like I said, I got one question. Is there veal in the meatballs? 766-9480. 766-9480. If you have the answer, I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Tomorrow, Ed Michel, New Orleans Inspector General, will join us live on the program in the 4 o'clock hour. Yesterday, the Ethics Review Board renewed his contract for another 4 years. That's great news for the righteous citizens of New Orleans. Yeah, the French Quarter trash wars are a trip. Troy Henry wins the $73 million bid to clean the French Quarter. But Troy Henry's not a garbage guy. He had to sub it out to a garbage company, Richards, that didn't want to bid on the French Quarter. So Troy Henry wins the bid and then has Richards do the work, subs it out to Richards. Then Richards and Henry have a disagreement. Richards says Henry owes him money. Henry says the opposite. They end up suing each other. The city council says, Henry, if you don't have Richards, you don't have a deal. You don't have a trash company. They get an emergency. Oh, wait, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Sorry. Troy Henry wins the bid and then says there's some things that we forgot it's about $500,000 more. Ramelli Waste comes in and says, hey, we were in second by just a few $100,000, so our bid would be lower, and we're not going to jack it up $500,000. We're ready to go. So Troy Henry wins the bid. After he wins it, wants a $500,000 increase. Ramelli steps up and says, why would you give him the increase? We're lower and we'll do the work. Then Henry has a falling out with his subcontractor, Richards Disposal, a sanitation company, a legitimate sanitation company that did not want to bid on the French Quarter. Henry gets it, subs it out to Richards to clean the quarter. Then they have a falling out. The council has an emergency 1-year bid. Sidney Torres and IV Waste win it. IV Waste goes in there, and they're not only doing what they're supposed to do on a contract, they're doing more. Instead of 3 days a week, power washing sidewalks, they do it every day, and they go beyond the amount of time they're supposed to do it. Lemon fresh scent, just going above and beyond what the contract calls for. So Oliver Thomas and Eugene Green on the council say, hey, Troy Henry's group, now that they have their you-know-what together with Richards Disposal, they say they're ready. They won the contract. They should start picking up trash. Freddie King says, man, IV Waste and Sidney Torres are doing a masterful job in my district. And J.P. Morrell saying, maybe rebid the contract at the IV Waste standards. At the IV Waste standards. So basically what that says is, Troy Henry, you want the deal? You're going to have to come in lower than what you want. The $500,000 you wanted, that's gone. And you got to come a few million lower because Sidney Torres will come in a few million lower and he'll do all this extra stuff. And then here's the thinking with Sidney Torres, the enhanced contract with what Sidney Torres does, he might take it up another level. Who knows? So the French Quarter trash wars have started back up again. Speaking of City Hall, this is crazy. Eileen Carter. I admit, I was fooled. I got suckered in. I'm not immune to that. Maybe I wanted to believe. But, fool me once, not twice. I know better now. No, Eileen Carter is a smooth talker, intelligent, and talks a lot of BS and nonsense. And I had her on my show like every other week during the recall and believing what she's saying, calling her like a hero, getting all these signatures, seems to have it organized. And then towards the end, I'm getting skeptical and telling her this. People want to know numbers and you're not giving numbers. And then we get the realistic count. It's like 30,000 when there are 60-something thousand needed, like not even halfway there. Mickey Mouse on the name, just a joke. It was unorganized. And then, of course, excuse making, wants to blame other people instead of herself. And then collected $1 million, 900-something thousand from the guy on St. Charles Avenue. Where did that money go? Can Eileen Carter and Belden Batiste account for all of that money? I guarantee you the guy on St. Charles Avenue. I'm upset that doing, my reputation doing a show kind of got a little tarnished because I got suckered in to Eileen Carter's BS. I admit it. I'm not proud of it. I'm just going to tell it like it is. When the final results came out, I was like blown away how screwed up they were, how much nonsense they were throwing out there, how it had no chance, how they just fooled everybody the whole time and got no traction. It was a joke. It wasn't a valiant effort. It was an unorganized effort. No, I got suckered in, but yeah, the guy who gave 900-something thousand, he's like, my God, did I get suckered in? Eileen Carter, from what I understand, is considering a run for mayor. This is Karen Carter Peterson's sister. This is comical. Karen Carter Peterson, even with her legal troubles, might be more accomplished than Eileen Carter. More skins on the wall, a deeper resume, more realistic resume. No, Eileen Carter should not be running for mayor. The recall says it all. I don't know where she's living or what she's thinking. There's no way to justify it. I mean, it's like January 6th. There's some other videos going to come out. We all saw it live on TV. There's nothing new that's going to come out. We all saw the final results of a recall. Nothing new is going to come out that blames someone else outside of Eileen Carter and Belden Batiste, but no one was really counting on Belden Batiste. No, but I got fooled. I got suckered in by Eileen Carter, no doubt. No doubt. Hey, the controversial Bell Chase Bridge opens this Sunday, and it's controversial as hell. $150 million bridge. They're going to collect $700 million in tolls. I mean, I just think with a traffic study, Corey Johnson, as my mom says, you don't have two nickels to rub together. Corey Johnson could go to any bank in America or multiple banks and say, hey, I've got the contract for the state of Louisiana to build this Bell Chase Bridge. It's going to cost $150 million. The contract's allowing me to collect $700 million in tolls. It's going to take approximately 23 years to collect the tolls. Lend me the $150 million, and you figure out amortization, 20 years, interest. What will I owe you on that $150 million? And you need to give me X amount of time to start paying you because I got to build the bridge, and then I got to start collecting tolls. Once I start collecting tolls, you'll start getting paid. You'll start making money. So at the end of the deal, I don't know what the $150 million bridge is going to cost over 20 years of financing. Double? Someone that knows financing could tell me quickly. You want to call it $300 million? They're collecting $700 million in tolls. They're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars over the 20 years. I'd like that deal. What bank wouldn't lend me money? Seriously, what bank wouldn't lend a bum on the street money if he held the contract with the state of Louisiana to build a $150 million bridge and you get to collect $700 million in tolls? Just something seems crazy. Most folks driving like a car, an SUV, a truck, a motorcycle, regular vehicles, they're called Class 1. If you're a Plaquemine Parish resident, it'll cost you 25 cents to cross the bridge. 25 cents. If you got a go pass like me, living on the East Bank, not a Plaquemine resident, it'll cost me $1.13. Without the go pass, double that, $2.26. Now, if you're a Class 2 vehicle, like pulling a boat or pulling a trailer or like a small size box truck, $3.77 with a go pass, $4.90 without. And if you're a Class 3 vehicle, like a big RV or a big 18-wheeler, a big gas truck carrying a tanker, $7.54 with a go pass, $8.67 without. So the lowest cost will be a Plaquemine Parish car, truck, SUV, motorcycle, 25 cents to cross the Bell Chase Bridge. And an 18-wheeler could be as much as $8.67. That's the toll rates that don't start Sunday. The bridge opens Sunday toll free. The bridge opens this Sunday toll free. And then I'm not quite sure when the tolls go into effect, but it'll be soon, within weeks or so. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back, New Orleans. No, we're not. And the speech is, no, we're not. 766-9480. Who is New Orleans' own Mia Young? Her nickname's Mama Mia. Does she make a great red sauce? Who is New Orleans' own Mia Young? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. 766-9480. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. Emerald and his son, Emerald Jr., came up with their top 5 New Orleans restaurants. I like the list. It's definitely like Emerald's list and his son. It's just an ordinary list. It's not something I'm not saying it's a problem if you go to these places. I just don't know if these are like the top 5. I think universally food critics would not have this as their top 5, but this is Emerald and his son, and it's their top 5. And who's to argue with their opinion? They have Dom Alisi's Po' Boys in Uptown is number 1. And I like the fried shrimp at Domalisi's. I do. But, we've talked about this, Miss Peach. You remember the old Zagat guide, Zagat, the maroon little book? The rating, I think, is like 1 to 30. 14 to 30 maybe. And there are no 30s. There's a few 29s, a few 28s. You're like 26, 25 up. You're a kick-ass 5-star restaurant, 25 and up in a Zagat. I just found it weird that you're rating Bayona or Commander's Palace or Clancy's or Irene's or Bright's. And then I'm not knocking it, but you're also rating like a pizza place, a hamburger place, and a sushi place. So it's not that it can't be great sushi or great pizza or great hamburger. It's hard to put it at the same level as like these high-end dining experiences that are chef-driven. So it seems like there should be a different scale, maybe, like letters or something. Different rating than the 14 through 29 or 30, whatever it is. So is Domalisi's a great shrimp po' boy? Fantastic. Maybe the best in town, one of the best in town. Leidenheimer French bread. Domalisi's has been there since I was a kid. Used to sneak out of De La Salle when you couldn't leave for lunch. Go to Domalisi's. So I've been going there for 40 years. So I like Domalisi's. I'm a regular. It's in my phone. Although they often don't answer because they're so busy they're not doing to go, which is a hassle. But anyway, Emerald's got that as number one. And just, they might be like a 27 or a 28 in Zagat, but it's like Bayona, it's just kind of sushi, pizza, hamburgers, po' boys. Kind of hard to put them in the same category, but hey, they are. Emerald's got them number one. Akamaya, the Mexican joint, number two. I don't even know where Akamaya is. I don't eat Mexican or Indian. Yep. Commander's Palace, number three. I think most people would have Commanders in their top 10, top 20. A lot of folks think, I'm going to go to 10 other restaurants outside Commanders. It's so ordinary. Some of the places in the quarter, the Commanders is still special. Speaking of some of the ordinary places in the quarters, he has Antoine's number 4. Antoine's is the oldest restaurant in New Orleans. I think it's the second oldest restaurant, third oldest restaurant in America. Maybe the oldest family-run restaurant in America. It's an institution. It's packed. It will always do well. That kind of fell into the category where I think Commander's Palace is great. I don't know if Antoine's is great, but I guess it's really good. And you still get souffle potatoes and speckled trout, almondine, and the tradition and the history. So it's everyone's list. I respect it at number 4. And then it's got Saint Germain in the Bywater with that tasting menu that's like $1.60 a head. Yeah. So you figure with tip, it's a couple of hundred grams. I've never been. And I'm not big on tasting menus, to be honest with you. I want to pick my own food. I love Tony Angelo. Loved him. I'd sit in the kitchen at Tony Angelo's with this little table. And I'd get what I wanted, and he'd bring it out. I never once went to Tony Angelo's and said, feed me. And I'm not saying that's wrong. Lots of people did. And they just bring out what they want. Restaurants like, the chef goes, I got something special for you. I would probably be like, tell me first, chef, because I'm kind of a picky eater, I don't want sweetbreads. I don't want pate. I know a lot of you are like, God, it's high-end, great stuff. Don't want caviar. I don't. I just don't want that. So you could be bringing me all this, and I'd be like, give me a $30, $40 appetizer, and I'd be like, I don't really want it. I guess I'd eat it. It's a 1 or 2 bite thing, but I don't really want it. And it's not like I'll try stuff. I mean, I don't like black beans necessarily, and I don't like sour cream. Bayona has a grilled shrimp in coriander sauce with a black bean cake with sour cream on top of it. I take some of the sour cream. I take some of the black bean. I've already cut the shrimp in half. I spear that shrimp. I swirl it around in that coriander sauce, and I eat all of it. The 4 things together taste fantastic. So I would try these things, but someone sending out 6 courses of chef's choice, I'd rather not. So Saint Germain at $200, and it's all, their menu, what the chef's choice. No thanks. Frank Brightson makes fun of me all the time because I go into Brightson's and rarely deviate from what's on the menu. Now, he's got the corn and crawfish soup, so I'll get that. But I'll get the barbecue shrimp because they're great. I'll probably get, most likely, about 80% chance, the pecan meuniere fish, drum, or speckled trout, or flounder. But I might get something else. And then I'm probably getting the pecan pie as a dessert. I go to Ruth's Chris, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't get the steaks. I get the chicken every time, unless I go to the lunchroom on Fulton. I get the burger. It's a great burger for lunch. It's like $17. It's the best burger deal in town. Now I'm kind of restaurant. I get the same stuff. Hot pepper chicken from Trey. Yeah, and I'll do if I go with friends in a group, I might get some. But yeah, I'm kind of like that. So Saint Germain, I'm not doing the Bywater tasting menu at $160 a head. It's probably fantastic. Folks that love food, Emerald's telling you to go to Saint Germain. It kicks ass. Just not for me. Anyway, Emerald and Emerald Junior's top 5. Domalisi's Po' Boys, Akamaya Mexican, Commander's Palace, Antoine's, and Saint Germain. I don't know what my top 5 would be. I don't know if I could come up with 5. I love Brightson's. I love Clancy's. I love Le Petit Crochet. I love Bayona. I love Irene's. That's 5 right there. But I could probably keep going. I like Toi. I like Gabrielle. I'm at 7. I can keep going. Miss Peaches. I could keep going. Who's got a good roast beef po' boy? Tracy's on Magazine. Legendary Tracy's. New location, bigger and better than ever. And all those flat screens. Check out the Pels. Major League Baseball about to crank up. It is a sports bar restaurant with a full-service kitchen. Food you actually want to eat. Yeah, and like I said, too many flat screens to count, including a 10-foot monster. Magazine at Pleasant, between Washington and Louisiana. Tracy's.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans. Precision and gorgeous high-quality frames from part of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine as unique as you.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades. On Jefferson Highway, across from Oxford, on Airline Highway at the bar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex is something called Quick Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. You got to come see us. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance. Total maintenance keeps you cool. That's easy. I drive your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for baseball, including arguably the best roast beef in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward for more than 125 years. Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
NOLA Coalition, kids, love our city. People of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. Harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Scott Craig, Katie's Restaurant.
Nothing comes out of a can. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson.
That is smells like sandalwood.
Corey Johnson.
He's absolutely magnificent.
Got to keep this up to 6. Wow. I have many leather-bound books, and my house smells of mahogany. It is a Tuesday afternoon edition of the program, 5 o'clock powwow. Phone lines are open, 766-9480. Miss Peach is fielding your phone calls at 766-9480. Some breaking news internationally, Saudi Arabia, the United States, Ukraine meeting. Ukraine has agreed to a ceasefire. Now all we have to have is Russia agree to a ceasefire, which I don't think is going to happen. And if Russia doesn't agree to a ceasefire, I hope President Trump starts giving Ukraine, forget if Russia agrees or not, give Ukraine the intelligence we've always been giving him. And Joe Biden was half-assed in this thing. Take it up to another level. Have a chance to decimate the Russian military. And then you get to rebuild Ukraine. It'll all be U.S. and European contractors, billions and billions of dollars. This is a win for everybody, for the United States, for Europe, especially for Ukraine. And they're sacrificing lives. They deserve our respect. It's mind-blowing on social media, just the pro-Russia stuff. They're now posting things on social media like Russian military defeating the Ukraine in a certain battle. Or none of that was ever posted. No one was for Russia. Now it's like they're for Russia and against Ukraine. Russia is our enemy. Russia is a communist state. Even worse than that, it's a bunch of billionaires. Someone described it as a mafia-run gas station. That's what it is. The world's largest mafia-run gas station pretending to be a country. No, they're our enemy. There's no question about that. Putin is a murdering thug, the worst of the worst. There's no one questions those facts. And then Ukraine is a democracy with a righteously elected president that a legitimate election, they are copying what we do. They are westernized. They are an ally. They are a friend of us and Europe. It's easy to see. Now, President Trump, with the cutting off aid to Ukraine and now cutting off the intelligence, it's like, why? Why would you give Russia any benefit? It's mind-blowing. And I mean, Trump supporters are backing it. It's unreal. But I also think a Trump supporter in certain situations could catch Donald Trump in bed with their wife. And they go, yeah, I just really wasn't handling things in the bedroom with the wife right, so I don't blame it. And then Donald Trump could literally, you know what, in the wife's head, in her hair. And the guy go, you know, she probably needed a little poop in her hair, you know. Just justify anything the guy does. It's mind-blowing. No, Russia is the enemy. Ukraine is our ally. Russia invaded our ally. Obama screwed up when Russia invaded Crimea. Should have done something then, not just these lame sanctions on Russia. Obviously didn't do enough because they go in and invade the Donbass region. Now, if you're a righteous American that loves America, democracy, freedom, capitalism, you embrace Ukraine and you despise Putin and Russia, the communist country, our enemy. This is easy. This is kindergarten stuff. There's no gray area. And Donald Trump is screwing over Ukraine and propping up Russia. It is mind-blowing, and Trump supporters don't have a problem with it. You can be against Ukraine and, you know, funding the country, and we're already in it. You don't swim halfway across the lake and turn around and go back. We're already in it. So we've already made that bed. The toothpaste is out the tube. Got to continue and decimate the Russian military. Like I said, Biden half-assed it. Trump needs to elevate it, not bring it down. And it isn't about peace bringing it down. It's about, already conceding before any talks. Ukraine won't get back all their territory. It's unbelievable. Why? Why won't Ukraine get back all their territory? Anyway, Ukraine has agreed to a ceasefire in Saudi Arabia in discussions with the U.S. Now the U.S. has to convince Russia to have a ceasefire, and that's not going to happen, in my opinion. We'll see. Hey, every day this program is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Lamarck Ford, Lamarck Lincoln, pre-owned service, collision, repairs, parts. For nearly 50 years, the Lamarck Automotive Complex, and in just the last 5 years, totally rebuilt from the ground up, over 15 acres, over $50 million invested. Ronnie Lamarck from Araby Park, he's been selling Ford vehicles for over 50 years. His son, Ronnie Jr., it's kind of a 50-50 shooting match with those two partners. They scooped up Crescent City Ford, the legendary truck dealership, a couple of years ago. Now Lamarck Crescent City Ford over there on Jefferson Highway. Every day this program is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Hey, New Orleans. Hey, Baton Rouge. I got AC running right now. My house got up to like 77. Tonight I'll probably be running heat because it's going to get down into the 50s again. AC, heat, not running the system at all. If you're in New Orleans, if you're in Baton Rouge, and if you ever need air conditioning or heat help, think Total Maintenance. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. If you need AC or heat help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, think Total Maintenance. TM-AC.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children. Join now at NOLA Coalition.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TV, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite team, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Are you on the Causeway Bridge heading north? I thought you were. Fire in a to-go order at Trey Yen, curbside delivery. They walk it right out to your car. Or better yet, you North Shore folks. You know where Trey Yen is, at the foot of the Causeway in Mandeville. That means you South Shore folks, just 25 short minutes from Lakeside Mall. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. For over 45 years, the masters. Treyen in Mandeville. So damn good. Love me some Treyen. Don't forget the Tong Cho sauce. I think you could put that stuff. It's sweet and spicy. You could put that like on cinder blocks and paper clips, and I think it would be edible. It'd be good. Tomorrow, Ed Michel will join us in the 4 o'clock hour on a wide open Wednesday. I love fading out of here at 6 o'clock and it's not dark outside anymore. Hooray for daylight savings. Let's keep it this way full time. Now, I'm an early riser, like 6, or so, and now I'm sleeping a little later because it's dark and totally my dog's not waking me up when the sun comes up. So getting a little extra sleep, I guess, in the morning, but it's lighter till about 7:30 now, and that only grows by mid to late June, around June 20th, whenever that summer solstice kicks in, longest day of the year. We'll be daylight till like 8:30, but still another hour and a half, and it is a glorious afternoon. Get outside and enjoy this weather. It is pretty tough to beat. Chamber of Commerce type stuff. 72 degrees, totally sunny. A ridiculously low 40% humidity. It was 33% earlier. No, it's gorgeous. The next week and a half, maybe a day of rain, maybe. On Saturday, maybe a little bit of rain. But 50s, 60s, and 70s and sunny, essentially, for the next week and a half. What's that, Blue Boy? Those 50s, it gets you frisky, that cold weather. And then when it gets up into the 70s, maybe 80 later this week, you just want to lie down and take a nap. I hear you, buddy. See you tomorrow. Wide Open Wednesday, right here.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.